I'm very excited. Today we are going to have Rina DiRisio on our podcast. She's an amazing real estate agent in Oakville. And I'm sure she's going to share a lot about the market and what's happening in the Oakville real estate market. We're, of course, going to pepper it in with a little bit of information about what's going on in the economy and how that might affect real estate prices. Namely, the number of mortgages right now with amortization schedules that are creeping above 30, 35 years on the balance sheets of the Canadian banks, which really can have an impact on supply. We'll see what she thinks about that. We'll probably have a little bit of fun, and I look forward to sharing it with you. So, Rina, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're a real estate agent?
Yes, some days, yes.
From Oakville?
From Oakville. Yep, Sleepy Town, Oakville, 905 area code.
Any specific area in Oakville?
No, I do business in all of Oakville. It's a pretty small town. I know it's growing, but when you know it, you know it.
Is it that small?
Well, it's probably over 200,000 in population, but it's smaller than things like places like Mississauga or Toronto. But yeah, it's a small hood, but it's growing rapidly.
I have a lot of friends that live in Oakville.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
They still talk to you?
Yeah. I actually just spoke to one on my drive here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Alex Markakis.
Oh, okay.
He baptized my youngest son, Nico.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is just a wonderful guy.
Yes.
I have another buddy named Art Artuso.
Yes.
Who just built a beautiful house in Oakville on the lake.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Where? Okay. Well, we won't get, yeah.
I don't know where.
Yeah, somewhere.
Like
okay.
on the lake?
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful.
On like
nice.
a court.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
He's got great taste.
Awesome.
Always spends a lot of time building his houses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, he would have to have great taste if he lives in Oakville, right?
I guess so.
Right. Okay.
Although I have driven by some houses in Oakville that I can clearly state that the people don't have great taste.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You're going to get that everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How long have you been selling real estate in Oakville for?
It's over 30 years. I
Wow.
won't say exactly, but since university, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Long
So
time.
you have seen
Everything.
like you started in the 90s, late 90s?
I started in 1989.
Oh, so even
Right
longer
at
than
the
that's-
peak.
Hey, FYI, that's longer than 30.
I know. Just we're not going to talk about the exact numbers. I'm going to be young forever. Yes, since 1989. So when I got into it, it was at the very peak, and then it just went down after that. But it was
Right.
a
So-
great market to be in.
So what was that like? Okay, take us back to 1989.
Flashback. Okay.
Yeah. So you finish school and you go right into
Um,
real estate?
Well, no, I took my real estate course while at university. And I graduated in April, but I started in January. For a couple months, I did it part time, and then I really loved it for some reason, and I stayed in it right after, right in April, and I started full time and really enjoyed it.
How did you start? Like what was
Well-
like you just became an agent, or were you like a part of a team? Like how do you
No, I was on my own. There wasn't a lot of teams at that time, but I was on my own. My husband was selling real estate actually during university. So that's what sort of got me in. He thought, well, I've spent all that time, working in different jobs in retail, then maybe you should try real estate, which I did. And so when I did get in, I was on my own. But it really taught you some great habits because the market was crazy and there was a lot of agents used to things happening right away. And, there wasn't a lot of effort in terms of selling a home. So when I did get into it, it really taught you some really good work habits. So it was, create a database, find people talk to them. And that's how it sort of started. So
It's interesting, right? So you started when things were like at
the
their
peak. Going down.
So maybe even the precipice. And
Correct.
just, boom.
Yes. Yeah.
And you were kind of all in at that point.
Totally. And I
Sure.
didn't know anything better. So any person that would talk to you was, this is great, where everyone around you had a negative attitude because things were on the down.
Right.
Right. And I do remember our, one broker saying to us when we started, the market is changing and, be prepared for a downturn. But I didn't really see that. So
What do you see happening right now?
right now,
Yeah.
right now, I think that we're just at the curve of it going back up.
Really?
I really do believe it. Yeah, I do. People can only sit still and be told that you can't do something. And then they sort of say, that's it. I'm going to buy or move or figure it out.
Are you saying that like in relation to people can't be told to stay still for too long, like in
Correct.
relation to COVID or in relation to high interest rates?
Well, you've got COVID, interest rates, people just readjust to what they can afford, right? People have saved money and they have money, but they're waiting for the opportunity. But now they're starting to feel a little bit more confident that interest rates aren't going to go up. You know more about it than I do, but I see it on the street level that people are definitely more confident. Look at the number of showings. It's crazy, number of competing offers right now.
So like interest rates aren't going up. They may
Thank
go
God.
up another, they may go up another 25 basis points in the
Right.
United States. And do you want to know how I know that?
How? Well, you should know everything. You're the chief.
I don't know anything. Listen, I don't know anything. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you something funny, anecdotally.
Mhm.
Two Russians
Yes.
prank called Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is the chairman of the Federal
Yes.
Reserve.
Right.
And they pretended to be the president of the Ukraine or prime minister, Matt? I never know that.
Oh, God.
President or
How
prime
can you
minister.
do that? Okay.
So they pretended to be the president of the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they had a full-on conversation with Jerome Powell.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it was over Zoom or Skype
Yes.
or something. Not
Uh-huh.
Skype. I guess no one uses Skype
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
And he was very forthcoming in the call. The call apparently happened in January. It just got released now.
Wow.
And he thought he was talking to the president of the Ukraine. And
Yes.
he said expressly, he said,
Uh-huh.
we see 2 more rate hikes at the time in January. So that would mean
Sure.
one more rate hike.
Yeah.
We see 2 more rate hikes,
Yeah.
meaning one more.
Yeah.
And we're going to hold them there for longer than people anticipate.
Good. Good.
Also, similarly,
Good to hear. Yeah.
and not as much of a glimpse into things as a prank call from Russians,
Yeah.
but the monetary policy note, the meeting from the notes from the last monetary policy meeting in Canada
Yeah.
were released yesterday.
Right.
And in those notes, there was a clear indication from Tiff Macklem, the governor of the central bank in
Yeah.
Canada, the Bank of Canada. And there was a kind of clear indication that rates were going to stay higher for longer than people anticipated,
Mm-hmm.
and that there was a possibility of another rate hike. I don't think that's happening.
Right.
And in our conversation, like that we had briefly before that, I
Yeah.
think the reason why it's not happening is because of that supply that we're talking
Supply. We
about
have a big supply issue.
that will be coming onto the market. But like
Yes.
the additional, the people that are going to be more motivated to
Correct.
list,
Yes, for sure.
and that'll tell. So like if those listings get absorbed really easily into the
Mhm.
market
Yes.
without a further decrease in pricing,
Mhm.
then I think we're probably more likely to see a
Right.
25 basis point hike.
Right.
If those listings hit the market and there's a lot of them and we see another drop in real estate prices,
Yeah.
then I think we won't see another. And I think that
Mm.
might expedite a decrease in rates.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now everyone's kind of planning on 2023 is going to
Yes.
be a shitty year with higher
is.
interest rates.
Yeah, for sure.
And we kind of have to forge through it.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
But
Why
yeah,
all that
yes.
buyer confidence right now?
It's a great question. I think
Really?
to your point, buyer confidence is a result of what you said. People have been told kind of it's not prudent to make a decision or do anything for so long
Yes.
that there's pent up demand for sure.
Yes. They want to move.
And then there's also FOMO, right? Like I know,
Correct.
like
Yes.
in my area, 2 houses went up
Uh-huh.
recently. And the one house, I think, stayed for like a week.
Yes.
And sold over asking.
Yeah.
And these are like older houses, nice
Mhm.
lots. And then the one across the street from me went up and it sold on the day of list for 500 over ask.
Yeah. That's what's happening. But I feel like it's a small window. This is always the peak, right? Once you hit mid-May, end of May, it'll sort of flatten out, I think.
So like
In terms of,
cyclically speaking.
that craziness of I really need to buy a house, and then people find something else to do in June, July. They get busy. But I do find that prices are climbing and more product will come on the market. You see it right now.
Because people are saying like, oh my God,
Maybe it is a good time.
I'm seeing my
Maybe I
neighbors
can
sell
move.
for this much.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
if too much supply hits, then that's when
Correct.
we got another.
It's that hope, right?
So typically May is a very busy month for you.
It is busy, yes. I find it's very busy. But once it starts to hit almost the end of May, I find it just levels off. Not a bad market. Homes still sell. It's not like we're taking holidays all summer, but it's just at a steady pace.
And then when does it pick up again? September?
September, yes, but not crazy. I find it to me, I always look at the markets for 6 months and then after that, it's steady pace.
So
happened every year.
what is the busiest month? May is the busiest month here.
I would say no. After the third week of January, probably till about mid-May is always the peak.
Oh, that whole period.
That's the peak. That's the most. That's the busiest time and the time that you will probably do the best with home prices.
So you can just take the rest of the year off.
No, that never happens. I'm not going to take a day off.
Oh. I mean, you have a team.
Yes, but
how many people do you have on your team?
I do have 2 full-time admin. We have 2 part-time, and in terms of agents, we have 4 agents on our team.
So let them work.
Yes, I know, but I love to work.
You do enjoy it.
I really do. Yeah.
What do you like better, listing houses or going with buyers to buy houses?
Well, if the listing sells fast, it's great to have a listing. After that, it's managing and expectations and hand-holding and all of that stuff. It's a bit more stressful, which is fine. And then buyers are fun because I get to see the inventory, I get to go out, connect with people. You're spending more time with them than on a listing. So yeah, I do like both, I have to say.
I would be annoyed with buyers, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. No,
indecisive people that you're going around with and
right.
I don't know. The wall's green. And you're like, you can paint the wall.
Yeah.
Like people looking for reasons why they don't
always
something.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the right fit, and I'll tell them this is not for you. Let's just move on, right?
I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's many times I'd rather show them 10 more than have them find one that they don't love and then they want to sell it in a year. I mean, it's good for me, but it's not good for them. It's high transaction costs, everything else. But no, I think it's they have to buy the right one.
I remember once working with a realtor that was like one of those realtors that's like, you can't really hear the train that loud from the bedroom.
No, not at all. The house is shaking, but that's okay.
This is a great house.
Yeah.
The gunshots only happen on the weekends
Just
in the front.
Weekend. Yeah, Saturday night.
Yeah. So I think as long as you're not one of those real estate agents.
You have to give them the right advice, and you can't be around this for that long and not give people the right advice, right? You know that, right? It's all about relationships.
So in the late 80s when you started, you had like a good year of market fervor?
No, it was sort of like things were on the down, right?
Oh, so you were the jinx.
I was like, I hit it, and then things were going down. There was a few months there like, wow, this is busy, but then it was going down.
And you said it was your husband when you were in university?
He sold real estate while at university.
You were married in university?
No.
Oh.
I met him, just before university. And he sold real estate while he was at university part-time. It's crazy.
Are you still married?
Yeah, yes, we are. Yeah.
Wow.
He was my boyfriend at the time, and then we just got married. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. We're still together.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
From high school?
Well, right after high school. I didn't know him in high school. Right after high school, just before we went into university, that's when we met.
Older guy, same age?
No, same age.
Same high school or different high schools?
No, different high school. He lived in Mississauga. I lived in Oakville. And we met, and then we went to U of T at same university. Like
the Mississauga one
or
downtown?
At Arundel.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's...
How did you meet?
We met through a sort of a family friend. Yeah.
Oh, it was almost like an Italian arranged marriage?
No, it was no arrangement. No, that's not me. I'm Italian, but not that way.
And you're from southern Italy? Like what, Calabria? Or?
From Abruzzi.
Okay.
Yep.
I think my buddy Art is Abruzzese.
Oh, really? So he must be a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Great guy. Sweetheart. Love you, Art. Yeah. And your husband?
He's
also Abruzzese?
No, he's from Foggia.
Where's that?
It's a small little place.
I love the way Italians say a village with 5 people in it, and everyone knows.
There's nothing to do there, but yeah.
Veneto
small.
region?
It's just we're in the south, it's just a little bit further north from where we are. It's about 2 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah.
Do you go back to Italy often?
Not that often. No, not that often.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure. I have family there, but I haven't been back for a while.
As long as from what I understand.
Yes.
As long as you don't go in May.
Yes, no, you can't go in May.
Yeah, because it's busy here.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go whenever you want.
Yeah, that's true. It's beautiful there. I just don't go that often, right?
I go every year. I probably go every year.
To Italy?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
All over the place. I got married in Venice.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the Cipriani, a little island. Yeah. My mom's from Sicily.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I love the kind of area around Milan, whether it's like
Yes, for the shopping, beautiful.
or like Portofino.
Yes.
I love like the Amalfi's great.
Yes, gorgeous.
Like Italy has so many different spots.
Doesn't matter where you
Italy,
go.
right?
Great food. Just doesn't matter where you go. People, it's a really, I love it.
I love driving around it.
Yes,
like I've done trips where we just like, we'll drive from like, we'll land in Rome and then we'll drive up to Portofino and then we'll come back and stop in Tuscany, like all over the place.
Wow. Good for
My Italian should be better, but it is not that great.
Mine isn't either. Right.
Well, it's because you're not going to Italy. You got to go to Italy.
No, I know. But, my parents spoke Italian. But yeah, it's not that great. Yeah.
So you don't think we're going, like, you think, like, you've got, obviously people are calling you now to say.
Yes, more so now.
Hey,
yes, they're
list.
ready. Yeah, they're ready.
Let's list.
Correct.
More people calling you to list or more people calling you to buy?
I would say right now, more people calling to buy. Usually I have a lot of listings, but I find the supply is low right now. But the buyers, there's a lot of buyers right now I'm working with.
Huh.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? They're looking to buy, they want to sell. So it's a bit of that, right? So they're starting with buy first. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that puts them in a tough situation if they buy and then there's too much supply that hits the market, right? Do you worry about that or no?
I do, yes. But they're warned. I do tell them. Yeah, for sure.
But like, and Oakville is a bit of like a kind of smaller market that you can hopefully control the demand a little bit, right? Like, my concern in Toronto is that when a lot of supply hits simultaneously,
right,
we're almost like on this like hairpin trigger that like people are going to freak out again, and it's going to be like the "I told you so"s.
Correct.
There's so much like this is going to drop further, which could cause like a
little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's my worry.
Yeah, it's true. But the supply will increase, and that's what will sort of get rid of a lot of the competing offers. Right.
So you're saying
because a lot
to
of
get
them
it
are
out of the
offers right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are withholding.
Yes, they're doing that. Wait till the offer date or 48 hours irrevocable. They're back to that right now because of
old habits die hard, right?
Right. I'm always careful when that happens.
That tells you that it's just swung too far into the seller's hands.
Yeah. So it's a small window. So just be careful with it.
So, the thing that worries me, and we've been talking about it, Matt, for, I don't know, like a month or two now, for the supply, is that like 20% of all mortgages right now on the bank's books are not servicing the interest on their mortgage.
Right.
So people that are living in homes, 1 in 5 that have a mortgage, for whatever reason, their variable rate payment amount does not cover the amount of interest owed on their mortgage on a monthly basis.
Right.
And as a result, their mortgages are slipping into these negative equity positions. So
not good.
And the way we're being told it is like the banks report on their financials and they say this percentage of our loan book has have amortizations exceeding 35 years. And we know that like in the last 12 months, with the exception of, I don't want to get this wrong. I know the ones that, so I think it's with the exception of Scotiabank and one other, National Bank.
Right.
So with the exception of Scotia and National Bank, all the rest of them have gone from 1 to 2% of mortgages on their books with amortizations in excess of 35 years,
right,
to 20%.
Interesting.
That to me spells a greater supply issue could hit the market if those banks become worried about holding the line. Do you ever watch Braveheart?
No, I don't watch much TV.
It's a movie with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
So you live like in a cave?
Yeah, I'm like in a bubble, like I'm in real estate. That's all I do.
Okay, well, listen, I'll tell you something. When you get out of the cave, I got a list of movies for you.
Okay, awesome. Yes.
You just said you don't do anything from May until January.
No, that's not true. I work. It's just not as crazy. It's steady. Yeah.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Right.
is commanding these
Okay, if
troops.
it's Mel, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a young Mel Gibson too,
Oh, okay. Even
with
better.
the kilt, the whole
Oh,
thing.
even better.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
He's commanding these troops,
Mm.
and they're being fired upon
Right,
by the opposing army.
right.
And he has a strategy to defeat them, but it involves holding the line.
Hold it.
And
Yep,
as much as they want to run
yep.
towards the other side and attack, he keeps yelling, hold,
Hold.
hold.
Got it.
This is exactly the same thing is happening right now at the Canadian banks.
Good analogy.
So the Canadian banks were of the belief, like the market,
Yeah.
that the Bank of Canada was going to drop rates before the end of 2023.
Yeah.
So that these elevated interest rates
Yeah.
that are becoming very onersome upon the borrowers,
Yeah.
once they dropped off, then people's amortizations could reset
Sure.
and they wouldn't have such an issue with so many mortgages accumulating debt,
Yeah.
is what we're seeing right now.
A lot of debt.
If the banks aren't capable of holding, now that we're starting to find out that interest rates are going to stay higher for longer,
Mhm,
and if the banks blink, one of the banks blinks
mhm.
and starts notifying borrowers that they need to reset the payment on their mortgages, or they need to pay a lump sum amount down against their mortgage.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine 1 in 5 people
Sure.
have these negatively amortizing
That's
mortgages
a lot of people.
in excess of 35 years.
Mhm.
If just a fraction of those people got a letter saying you've got to pay $150,000 down against your mortgage or else you're in default,
They're out.
those houses will hit the market.
Mm.
So I think
That's
they've
worrisome.
hired Mel Gibson, from what I understand. The banks have all hired Mel Gibson. He now sits on the trading floor and says, hold every single
that'd
day.
be nice to see. Can I
Look
go
that
to
up,
the
actually,
trading
Matt.
floor?
Matt,
Yeah.
look that up. I think that's on the internet.
Wow.
Mel Gibson hired by Canadian
Wow.
banks. I think he's
Wow.
actually unhireable in the banking sector from some of the
Jeez.
things he said.
So are you worried about what's coming? You worried?
I worry about everything.
Mm.
I really like.
And I don't worry about anything.
I manage a mortgage fund, right?
Yeah.
And I'm responsible. And I've met every single person that has money in my mortgage fund.
Right.
I make
okay.
a point of speaking to every single person
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
Some of them multiple times.
Right.
I know why they're invested with me. I know their aversion for risk.
Good.
I know how I need to protect that money. And as a result, I voraciously consume any information about the real estate market or where interest rates are going or
Right.
possible supply issues. And also as a result, I worry about these things. But I'll tell you, it's kind of the way I operate, right? Like
Right.
I need to be a little bit worried in
Right.
order to like,
Absolutely. Right. We're in two different worlds. I am in that real estate world, but I don't really get involved in their finances, et cetera.
Right.
So when they're coming, I don't really see that side, right? Not really sure until they can't do something.
right.
Right.
Yeah. Like I can tell you, I don't really deal with a lot of buyers.
Right.
Like my job is more when something goes wrong at one of the offices or with one of our clients,
Yeah.
I have to kind of step in and help to find a solution.
Sure.
But we have certain kind of safeguards built up
Mhm.
so that we're never surprised
Mhm.
or we never surprise a buyer.
Yeah.
So, like it's more than just like the stress test or do you
Yeah,
have enough
sure.
income or
Yeah.
it's, we kind of assess the property that they're buying,
hmm
their capability as a buyer and their timeline. Timeline's always so critical, right? Like
Right.
that's why I say if you've got a buyer right now that's like gung ho on buying
Yeah.
and selling, the critical piece I think in this timeline is to really get a handle on what they're going to sell for.
They have to sell.
Right.
Usually sell first.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. So like I think that's critical
Mhm.
because if they don't have as much as they thought they were going to have to
Yeah.
put as a down payment,
Mhm.
it could be a bit of a shock,
For
right?
sure.
And then some people get into this mode where, well, I'm not going to sell my house for anything less than this.
Mhm.
And then they end up in
And
this
then they're
position
stuck.
where they're carrying two
Correct.
properties.
Yeah. Not great. For sure.
So my job is more like either I have to deal with a problem that
Mhm.
springs up, but
Yeah.
more often than not, I'm just the custodian of a big pile of money and I have to
Mhm.
make sure that I'm putting it into the right properties, the right
Right.
deals and the right people.
Right. I mean, you're not seeing people really default on their mortgages, right? It's just a matter of, I feel like the banks are just helping them more figure it out, right? with payments and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's
It
what the
just
negative
seems like
amortizations are all about.
that's the worrisome thing is just building more debt, right? So
Listen, I always slam the banks at any
Right.
chance I can. But I can tell you, in this situation, Canada
right,
has a benefit, a clear benefit, because the banks are working together.
Mhm.
The banks are the largest stakeholders in this real estate market
Yeah.
because they have all the debt
Sure.
on all of the
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah.
It does not benefit them to see a precipitous fall in the price of real estate because they go out and power of sale a whole bunch of clients.
Correct.
It does not benefit them.
No. Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, that at a certain point, we're going to see a little bit of it.
Mhm.
They're going to cull the herd a little bit.
Right.
They're going to
Sure.
start issuing some demand notices for payment.
Yeah.
It could get a little bit
Sure.
uglier.
Yeah.
If the supply can get sopped up and the prices can maintain themselves,
Mhm.
at a certain point, that'll stop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But still, yeah, I worry about it. I worry.
Yeah.
My biggest worry right now is that we have not seen the bottom in the real estate market because of more supply hitting the market. And
Mhm.
I'm so keenly aware
Mhm.
of how sensitive demand can be.
Correct.
Like, you've got all these buyers calling you because they have a fear that they've been so programmed for 20 years of prices just steadily going up.
They're afraid right now that they want to get in before it does go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So I just worry that those same buyers
Mhm.
have this demand sensitivity that if they see an article next month
Mhm.
about this massive amount of supply hitting the market
Mhm.
and prices down month over month now,
Mhm.
they'll start thinking, oh, it was just a blip.
Right.
Let's go back and sit on the sidelines
Sure.
again. And if
Yeah.
the buyer demand cools,
Mhm.
the supply continues to get elevated.
Correct. Yes.
That's when you see another drop.
Yeah.
I don't
sure.
think I don't think it'll be as bad as what we saw before. It was like
Yeah.
15 points.
Yeah.
Has Oakville already recovered from that?
I feel that prices are not falling from now on. From where we are right now, I think they're going slightly up. I don't really see a decline right now.
You want to bet?
Okay. Let's bet, buddy.
Okay. Dinner.
Dinner it is.
Okay. But I picked the wine.
Sure, you pick the wine.
Okay.
You pick the wine, I'll drink the wine.
Okay. Great.
I don't know. I don't see them going down further.
Okay.
I
So,
could be wrong. I don't know.
okay. 12 months from
Buyer
now.
demand.
12 months from now.
We're going to sit here again and we're going to talk about it.
Okay. Well, we can talk
Okay, 12
before
months-
then. We can
12
definitely.
months from now, tell me what's going to happen.
Okay. So 12 months
Yeah.
from today, I think that we will have seen. I think that we'll have seen a further downturn in prices.
Okay.
I think the fall market will not look as great.
No, fall market never is great. In my opinion, every fall market, people say it's better. It's never great. It's okay. Not crazy.
And I think that we will be in next year at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we will be happy with what's happening in the spring market. And I think
Right.
most of the news on the horizon will be good news.
Yes,
But I think we will have
I do
passed.
believe
I think
that.
we will drop. I think real estate prices.
Drop again this year, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that, yes, after the summer, it's going to level off. Is it going to drop? Hard to say.
Well, you
Hard
did
to
say
say.
that it wasn't.
I don't
going
know
to
it's
go down.
going to drop. I don't think it's going to drop. I really don't.
So you're changing your decision.
Not really. I think it's peaked. That will it drop from the end of May? You have to look at from the end of May. Will it go down after that?
Okay.
Not sure. I don't see it. I think it will remain, if not start slightly.
I hope so.
I do. I don't know.
Because the other thing I tell you,
I'm out on the streets. I see it. I'm not sure.
I don't think that it's like psychologically, I don't think it's good for Canadians.
No, it's not. They've had to deal with a lot of psychological issues,
Don't you
COVID
think?
and everything else. Like people are done.
Yeah. And
They're done. Yeah.
the financial stress that people
Yes.
are under right now.
Correct. Yes. Financial stress, just stress with a lot of other things, right? Yes, I know.
Are you, usually you don't talk about politics, but are you a liberal?
I can't say.
Italian,
Most
lady?
Italians are liberal.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
My
of
father
course
was
they are.
heavy liberal.
That's who bring me to the
Yes.
country.
That's to bring it to the country. Yes. But their kids aren't liberal.
I think so. I think
That's the
like my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, probably
Uh-huh.
on the border of NDP.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
she's just like
Interesting.
the sweetest lady who
Right.
cares for everybody
Oh, okay.
and
Oh, interesting.
has no kind of doesn't really care, doesn't think about money. Doesn't
Right. Yeah.
I don't know where I came from.
Yeah.
I got a question. What's the most expensive house you've ever sold or
The
bought?
most
Most expensive transaction you've been involved in?
I think it was, what was the most? Honestly, I think it was over 4 million.
Not interested. Okay. I thought I was expecting something
No, like 10 million?
yeah,
No.
15.
No.
That 10 wouldn't even have
Look,
gotten me
Marcus,
going.
I would rather have a lot of the ones at 2 million and do a lot of volume
Oh, yeah.
than one off of 10 million. Okay, so what?
Well, why not do a lot at 10?
Oh, yes, there's just not enough buyers at 10 million buying those houses in Oakville. Look at the numbers. Right?
Well, if interest rates got really, really low, maybe there'd be more of them.
Right, sure. Yeah. Talk to someone about that. Yeah.
Okay, so you deal with primarily, you've been doing it for a while, so you must have a lot of repeat customers.
A lot of repeat customers, yes.
Why? What do you think
repeat or referral?
What do you think the reason you have so many repeat customers is?
Because they get the straight facts. I really take care of them. So if I work really hard in terms of negotiating for them on their sale or buy, right? I look nice, but I'm not when it comes to negotiating. So I do the best for them, right? I'm really strong there. But I think it's just giving them the honest advice, always looking out for them in terms of, is it the right time to buy? If it's not, I tell them don't. Is it the right house? If I feel it's not the right house, I'd rather show them 10 or 20 more, but get them the right one, right? Sometimes I've had to fight with some of my clients that really want to buy something and I don't think it's the right thing for them. In the end, they thank me, but I just make sure that they're protected, right? Because we do this every single day. We know it more than they do, right? So you have to really make sure that they understand it and they understand what they're getting into.
What do you think the number one quality is for a successful realtor?
I think it's relationships, right? I think if you have a great database and you nurture your relationships, I think it just comes easy, right? So it's not like we're hunting down for new business every day. You almost don't have to because you have enough there that people know and they know if I want good service or the right advice, they're going to go to the person who knows, right?
You said you're a great negotiator.
Yeah. We're tough.
What are, can you just tell me, no one else listening, what are a few, if you were going to say, here are the top kind of 3 tricks, or not tricks, but the top 3 things I keep in mind when I'm negotiating?
Never show your cards. Be the vault. Never show your cards. Be the vault. Know your product really well, right? Because when you know your inventory and you know your product really well, it's so hard. You have the power over the other side. For example, the other agent you're working with, right? How many times do I say to them, did you see that property inside? And they may say no. And I know that. So it helps me negotiate a higher price being on the other side because I know that they don't know that inventory really well, right? It's knowing who you're dealing with. You have to make sure you have good relationships with the other agents. If you don't, it's going to not work for you or for your clients.
Right. If you're a jerk, you must know.
You will lose.
Who's the biggest jerk in Oakville real estate? Just kidding.
Yeah. No.
But if you're a big jerk and you're just, you're about to say it.
No, I'm the fault.
But if you're a big jerk rolling around in Oakville real estate, you're not going to be doing it for 30 years.
No, but you could still be doing a lot of business and being that way.
Really?
100%, right? But that's not the road I will take, right? So just be humble and work with your competition, no matter what they've done to you in the past. Just rise above it, right? You be the better person.
That's got to be why women are better realtors in many cases than men, because they're better communicators and they don't have the ego.
It's the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ego.
It's also communication, right?
But women have egos too. But we have to, in the business, you have to get rid of the ego and just think about serving your clients and you will do well.
You ever play poker?
No.
feel like you'd be a good poker player,
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I would be.
but you don't play poker.
No.
Is your
Yeah.
husband still a real estate agent?
Yes, he's a broker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he owns 2 offices.
So he has the offices, like
Yes,
with.
but we don't work together.
Wow. What are you talking about?
No, we don't.
Why?
Well, look, he manages, he owns those offices. So would I work with him? No.
You
then
don't
it's
even work in one of his offices?
No.
What are you talking
Well, it
about?
would be a conflict. It would be a conflict. And, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to listen to someone telling me what to do.
I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
that.
It's better. It's business is it's just better just to keep it separate. And
I
when
feel
we're
like
home, we don't talk about it.
You've been with him for so long
I know.
that, like, I think I can probably understand the dynamic.
Mhm.
And, like, I don't know that anyone's really telling you what to do. I
No,
think
that would not be good.
I think he knows he's not
He
telling
knows.
you what
No,
to do.
he doesn't. Actually, he doesn't. But I think it'd just be, perception of maybe it's his agents in his office. Oh, your wife works here. Is she going to get the business even though I've already been established? It just depends. I don't like to create, he's pretty fair. So he wouldn't want any issues, right?
His offices are in Oakville also?
He has one that he owns in Oakville, it's franchise,
Mhm.
and one in Mississauga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you must go up against his agents.
Yeah,
that work.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. But, you have to be respectful.
I'm sure that you're respectful. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you have to. You have
funny.
to work together. Like, I don't think there's anyone that you don't work together with in the business, right?
Yeah, I just think it's funny that you don't work in one of the offices.
I know.
Yeah.
Years ago, I thought about it, but didn't happen.
And he was an agent, and he just was like, I don't want to be an agent anymore. I'm just going to run like.
Well, he did residential, then he did commercial, and he was just not into sales. Like, he just didn't want to go through showing houses and list. It was not for him. So he ended up managing, and then he ended up buying this office.
I find sometimes that like the reluctant salespeople are the best salespeople.
The reluctant?
Yeah, like the ones that are like, I don't really want to sell. I'm not really a salesperson because like that.
If you look at it as sales.
Yeah, but that authenticity kind of shines through more with those people.
True.
You know that like this whole thing we're talking about, always wanting to do the best thing for your clients.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't want to be a salesperson doesn't really have the same motivation as someone that's just like, yay, rah, rah, go sales. What are my numbers? Got to hit my numbers.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that their value proposition to their buyer or seller is more. They're more kind of keenly aware of it. And that authenticity shines through in their work, which is maybe why he went to commercial, because you can't really fake commercial, right?
No, those are the facts, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the emotions and everything else. So he just to manage, he just didn't want to deal with, the emotions and all that stuff day to day. He deals with different emotions with, agents and surviving in the business and everything else, where I couldn't deal with that complaining or, I'm struggling. I just couldn't deal with that, right?
He must be very patient.
He is very, yeah. But he just calls it the way it is.
And like he must enjoy the babysitting and the hand holding that
He
must
does.
come into play with this role.
Yeah, that's his stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes it.
Good.
Yeah.
He seems like a great guy. I'd love
He's
to
a
meet
very
him.
good guy. Yeah.
Maybe I will bring my wife and you can bring your husband when we have this dinner.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah. And you know
Right.
what? The reason, listen, I'll tell you something. The
Yes.
reason why I'm okay if
Yes.
I have to pay for the dinner is because it will mean that we will have had
A
this
nice dinner.
beautiful, well, also the dinner. but
Relationship.
we will have had a beautiful year
Yeah.
of stable, as you
Correct.
say,
Yeah.
not dropping
Yeah.
home prices. And we will have already reached our bottom.
Correct.
So, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, really a
Time to
celebration.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you for coming.
You're the best.
You are.